tutorial. This is Kids Are Asleep Gaming, and we are working through some customization here. I kind of did a part one, if you will, where we looked at some logos, some different options, some things that you can do, either with some logos that are already in place, just some slight changes and variations to those, as well as kind of starting from scratch and kind of going through how to basically make a logo from scratch. So if you did not catch that one, please check it out. It is part one in this series of customization. Today we're going to go through a little bit more on the uniforms and stuff. We didn't do that last time. I did want to quickly kind of show you background on what we've done so far customization wise, just to give you an idea of what we're moving towards. So again, if you like what you're seeing here, please follow, please like, please subscribe, do all the things that you need to do. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so without further ado here, let's get things started. So as you can see on the screen currently, my daughter and I actually have made this Lucky Leprechauns team. Again, we took this logo, if you will, from another logo that was already in the game. I think they were called the Lucky Beats, I want to say. And ultimately, we just changed some names, did some simple changes, a little bit outline changes and stuff like that, and ultimately it turned out to be this. Last time when I did part one of this series, we specifically kind of looked again at kind of doing something very similar with, that we did with the Lucky Leprechauns. We took a logo that was called the Hooligans, and we switched them up and made them the Wranglers, which kind of coincides with my Red Rock Wranglers University NCAA Football 14 series I have going. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do. But then the other one that we did, whoops, excuse me, hit the wrong button there. And then the other one that we did was we kind of started from scratch, and we made this one called the Testers. We just took it's actually the Bee-Wolves logo, added the wording in there for testers. I added a little cone thing to make the stinger look a little bit longer, and that was kind of all we did with that one. Since then, I've kind of made this one here called the Ghosts, and we're actually going to go through. I would like to show you guys how exactly I did this logo. So we're going to quickly do that, and then we'll look a little bit more in depth at logos. We'll look a little bit more in depth at uniforms. And kind of your different options there. So let's just add another team here. So when you're on this screen, so ultimately you got to get to this screen. So again, if you this is your first time kind of doing this, and you don't have any idea what to do, you actually start by going to play. So you hit the X button on PlayStation 4 to go to play. You come down to customize, and you want to customize your teams. So you hit teams there, hit X again. And then it brings up the teams that you currently have and or don't have if you don't have any. If you want to just add a team or make a new one, again, you just scroll down here to add a team, hit the X button, and then it brings up all of your options here of places to start, really, if you will. I mean, there are just a ton of options of teams you can just take over and use right away, and or you can change up the logos again, like we kind of talked about last time. You can just start from scratch. We're just going to kind of go through here kind of slowly, just so you guys get an idea of just how many there really are. And then at the end of this video, what I really want to show you how to do is actually play with these teams. That was just something that I actually struggled with figuring out how to do. If you go to actually just play a game, where are they? How do you find them? So, at the end of the video here, we'll kind of do that and kind of show you where your teams are hidden, if you will, in order to get them so you can actually play with these teams that you're creating. Again, we're just kind of going through here. I mean, we're only in the D's, and now we're in the E's. I mean, there are just so many options with teams that are already in the game, really. So, I mean, if you're not very artistic, it's not really something that you enjoy doing, but you want to play with a different team than what you played with last year on Super Mega Baseball, you've got just a ton of options that are already pre-made and ready to go for you. So we're only in the H's. There's the Hooligans one that I just kind of changed the color scheme, changed the H to a W and made them the Wranglers. And I think that's actually the team that we're going to go back to, because it might be a team I actually will play with and maybe start a series with, do a season mode with the Wranglers. And it was actually the Lucky Breaks that I changed up a little bit, as you can see there. Changed up slightly to make them the Lucky Leprechauns, and that's the team that my daughter and I made. Again, we're just in the M's. There is so many teams to pick from. If you've got this game and you're looking to play with a different kind of a team, then there are so many. But I enjoy, I'm a little artistic. I enjoy doing a little bit more, a little bit extra to kind of make my own, make the teams more my own. So we're going to go back here just to show you. I wanted to make this Ghosts team, and I kind of want to show you how I did that. So I started here with the Haunters, is what I was. I wanted to include the Ghosts, but I just want to make the team name just the Ghosts instead of the Haunters. But I didn't really love this logo to start with, but I kind of liked this logo. This hare's logo. So what I did is I actually took this logo and turned it into the ghost logo with obviously that ghost picture, if you will, of that ghost. And so I started here, so we're just going to start with the hares. We're going to hit the X button to get things going. And as you can see here on this screen, we are in this hares section. Right side is the name of your team, logos and colors. Then then you got uniform, player editor. Maybe we'll get a little bit to that today if we can get things going here, just to kind of show you what you can really do with all of the player editor options if you really just want to make your own team, which is kind of what my daughter and I have done with the Lucky Leprechauns. We've kind of made them be a little bit pseudo. Basically we put all of our family in there. So that was kind of a fun process for us, and we're excited to actually get going and playing with that team. We haven't actually played a game yet. It's been a process to get everything set up, and obviously just timing wise it's tough to do. But let's get into this. So hares here, I want to change to the ghosts and put in this ghost logo. So this is what the team looks like here initially. We basically want to change this hares word to ghosts. So again, we're in this layer section. We go to where it says hares here, and we just want to change the text. So you scroll over to the T, hit the X button to get into your typewriter area, and then we just want to delete that. So we're going to hit square to get back, and then we just want to type in ghosts. If you want to keep it capitalized, you can just hold down L2, and that will keep everything capitalized, which is what I want to do. And actually, it's right up there at the top. So we'll just go pick it, ghosts, and then we'll say done. So we'll hit R2 to be done, and now at least the name has been changed to ghosts. So that's a start. Now we've got a couple of outlines here that I'm going to kind of come back to later and change. We don't want this rabbit here, so if we just scroll over to the little X and then we hit X on the PlayStation 4, it will delete it. But then there are also, it kind of has all of these shields. Again, you can see what you're changing or removing as they kind of light up on the screen there. You can kind of see what's happening. So we want to get rid of these shields. So again, we just go to the X. I don't want that shield. And now I don't want this shield. And now I'm going to get rid of this last shield too. So there were 3 shields there that I just kind of wanted to get rid of. Now, to me, I kind of felt like this logo was a little bit low. So I kind of wanted to move everything up. So I started by going to ghosts here, and if you just hit the square button, you kind of can see underneath your primary logo there at the bottom it says move text. So if you hit the square button, and then you can just use your left stick, and move it wherever you want it on the screen, really. And at this point, I just want it out of the way. So we're just going to put it down here. We want to hit X to accept that we've moved it, or else if you hit cancel, obviously it will put it back where it was. So we'll hit X and just kind of leave it there. And then we want to move these rectangles. So what they've done to kind of make this box is they've put 2 rectangles together, and I just want to move them up. So what we're going to do is, first off, we're also going to change the color here because, for my ghost team, I just want them to be white, gray, and black. So we're going to hit the X button here to change the color. Again, let me go back here and just kind of show you where that was. So you've got these here, which is up and down arrows for moving your layer up and down, as well as copy it, which is that one there now highlighted in yellow. And then obviously the X is to delete. But if we go to this blue one here, I just want to change the color, we'll hit X. And then here are your color options. If you want to make up your own color, again, you can go to this plus sign here, hit the X button, and then it brings up this screen. You can use the left stick to kind of scroll through and ultimately pick any color that you so desire. If you just kind of want white and grays, you can kind of use the right stick and see how the blue thing's scrolling down there, and it just kind of makes everything a little bit darker and muted. Here's your kind of your different grays and blues. If you kind of want to, just change up your colors a little bit. I mean, you can. This is really kind of crazy, all the different options you have for colors. But we're not worried about that aspect of it at this point, just because I've got the color that I want here in number 7, which is just black. So we're going to hit 7 to be black. I want to change this rectangle to also be black. So again, we'll hit X, scroll down to number 7, and hit X again. But now I want to move these up. So what we're going to do is, since we are on this one now, I'm just going to hit, again, square, and then scroll it up to the top. As you can see now, it is 2 separate rectangles. So I just kind of want it to be a little bit closer to the top here. We're going to kind of put it right there. We're going to hit X to accept so it doesn't move it back down. And then we're going to move our other rectangle up to this spot as well. So again, hit square to move it up here, and this gives us this nice long rectangle. And we'll hit X to accept. And now what I want to do, obviously we got our ghost name. We've got, I do want to change the outline colors here a little bit. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that now, because I don't really want this blue outline, which is this number 5. I want it instead to be, let's see, either not black, because that's, I think, just a little bit too much. I think I want it to be gray. So we're going to hit it on number 3 here, and we're going to hit the X button to accept that. We are probably going to need to shrink down this ghost to fit in that box. So let's just do that now. So we're going to say we want to move the text, so we're going to hit the square button again. And this time, oops, excuse me, I hit the wrong one actually. This time you're going to hit L2. So L2 is what shrinks, R2 is what makes it bigger. And if you really did want to rotate something, that's what your R1 does. And your L1 rotates it back, depending on how you want to do it. And obviously if it's at 0 there, it's level, if you will. And now I want to just kind of scroll this guy right up here. For right now, we'll just kind of see how ultimately this looks. I don't love that, and so we might switch some things up here a little bit as it relates to the outlines. And or I might even make those rectangles smaller. But let's accept it for now. And then we need to obviously still add our ghost in. So we're going to scroll back up here to create a layer. We're going to go to specifically image. So you have image, text, and outline. We want to do image. We're going to hit X to accept that. And here are all of your image options. Again, there are just a ton. You can make up your own names. You could be the dragons. You could be the eagles. You can be the lions. You can be the, you can literally be anything. Scorpions. It's endless what you can do. I did pay a little bit extra in order to be able to actually get this ghost logo. This won't be on, if you have not paid the extra, for the DLC content, you won't have ghost as an option. It's just an extra few dollars, I think it was. I think instead of $29 for just a game, I paid an extra 10, and I got 2 packs, if you will. In order to get these kind of extra logos and stuff. So, that's also where the leprechaun one sits. So if you're liking any of these, you do kind of need to pay attention to that a little bit. Obviously, if you want some dolphins or anything else. Just a quick look here, just kind of some other things that are in here. I know we've kind of went over this before. You got props, you got all these eyeballs, you got pitchforks, you got swords, you got socks. This is the stinger that I use. I just kind of rotated it. And that Beowulf is one that we did earlier. Obviously the beards, hats, chainsaw, there's a ton of options there. And then obviously shapes and stuff that you can manipulate as well. So your options, again, are endless. But let's go back to the ghosts, and we'll hit the X button to accept that one. And right now is huge and his color is wrong. So what do we have to do to change that? So ultimately, let's start by changing his color. So we are currently on the color. It's number 1, brown, but we don't want that. So we're going to hit the X button, and I just want to change it to white. So we're going to hit white, That changes that. Now we need to move the design, so I want to make it smaller. Oops. So you're going to hit L2 to do that. You're going to scroll it down here, and then I want to move it to kind of sit, about here-ish, I think. But now, as you can see, it's covering up my S. So what do I do? How do I fix that aspect of it? So what I do here is first I have to accept that I want it where it is. So I hit X to accept. And then I want to move it down in the layers in order so the ghosts will come back forward. So if I move it down, you can see my S is now there, or maybe. If I hit it one more time, it even makes it look like that. I like how that looks personally. So we're going to keep it there. And then I kind of, at this point, that actually looks pretty good, I think. But I do want to change things up slightly. More than anything, I want to look at some of the outline options. So currently it says it's a black outline. So if you don't really quite know, well, where is this black outline that I can't see at the moment? At least I don't see a black outline. My guess is it's actually the outline that is around the word ghosts. So actually, if you kind of move it over, actually it goes around everything there. You can see it goes around the word ghosts and around the actual ghost itself. And so what I want to do is just kind of make it, I think actually I like the black color there, so we'll just kind of leave that as is. The other option would maybe be this gray. That's not bad either. Just to switch it up, let's actually just do that. So that kind of changes that one outline. This white outline is the thing that goes all the way around the entire logo. So that's that outline, and then this outline here is just what is going around the letters. You can tell obviously where outlines go. You see that little arrow that kind of points up kind of to the left of the word outline. Everything above it gets whatever color outline gets the outline of the color. So specifically this gray is just going around the letters because the only thing that is above it is ghosts. This one here, this gray outline, goes around everything above it. So it goes around this ghost outline, or excuse me, the ghost itself. It goes around this outline, so that makes it actually gives you two outlines. And it goes around the word ghosts. And then the very bottom one, obviously, as you can see, that outline goes around everything because everything is above it. And so that's kind of how that works. If you're confused, I kind of went over that last time. But again, maybe I'm explaining it differently or better to better understand how this works. And so I think I want to change, first I want to change, I think, the color of the letters. I think I want to be gray. So we're going to change this up to gray. And then we need to change the outline, obviously. So let's change the outline. Could be white now, or I could make it black like this. That looks kind of interesting and cool. I think ultimately, I'm trying to remember what my actual one that I made that I showed you guys before we started here, what it actually looked like, but I'm kind of forgetting now. In order for me to do that, I actually could just go check it out. So we can just say, at this point, let's just cancel. If we hit circle again, that'll say, do you want to save your changes? And we'll just say yes. And so I quickly just want to look again. As you can see, my logo there to the left side it saved everything. We'll hit circle again to get back to this screen. I don't love, obviously, that's not what we're looking for. This is the one that I want, and this is how I made it, and this is what I like. So we need to make the word, the letters white. We need to have an outline be black, and then the gray outline. But besides that, it's actually looking like how I had done it originally. The other thing that we need to do that we haven't done yet is change the name from hares to ghosts. So let's go back to Edit Team. Now back in that logo I was just looking at. We want to change names and logo colors. Since we're here, let's go ahead and change the team name. So if you just hit the X button, that'll take you to the typewriter thing again. And we'll just change this to Ghosts. And again, it's up there, but I don't want it all to be capitalized this time. But as soon as I hit G and H, Ghosts is right there. Hit the X button to accept that. R2 to say done. Oh, now I got two. Custom team already exists with that name. Man, what should we name them? We could, if we wanted to, just change it back to, we did see that logo for the Haunters, and that's not a part of anything that we've done. So we will just say, edit it again, and maybe we'll just for ease of everything here, we're just going to name this team the Ghost. We'll say R2. And being that we've done that, let's change this. So again, go down to ghosts, hit T for text, and now let's just delete the S. And now we also wanted to, we realized back there that we wanted to change this, so we hit X to change the color again, change the the letters to be white, change that to 4, and we want the outline to be black. And there's actually the logo basically that I made that you just saw a second ago. So that's kind of with a slight different name of Ghost. So that's kind of it for that aspect of it. That's the primary logo. Now if you hit R1 at the top, what is your hat going to look like? So your baseball hat, what do you want it to look like? So I like how this looks, and so I think that we should just make this be the hat. Actually, no, I take that back. What we're going to do is we're going to make just a nice big ghost to be on the hat. So we just need to delete everything off of this page. So we just need to scroll over here to X and keep hitting X on every single layer until it is all gone. And now we want to create a new layer. We're going to hit Image. We want to scroll down here to the ghost again. And now it's big and brown, so we want to change the color. So we're on the color option there. We hit X. Scroll over to white, hit X. And we're just going to, I want that to be the hat. So that's number one, but now you have your away and your home hat. I just kind of want to make them the same to kind of make things easy. So again, be on the logo that you want to copy. As you can see up in the upper right hand corner there, it says copy logo. We hit triangle. And then you just, where you want to put it, you highlight in this yellow. We just want it to be the home hat. So that's this one here. And then we hit the X button and boom, it's copied over. Easy breezy. Now we can decide, do we like this logo enough to make it be also the logo on our shirts, if you will. So this one, obviously you can see the hairs. We do have the ghost on the hat, as you can see up in that picture there. And let's just to see how it looks, let's go back here. Let's copy this one. So we hit triangle. And we want to see what it looks like if we put it on our shirts, our jersey crest away. We'll hit X. And there it is. I think that looks okay. So we'll just kind of leave that as is, I think. And then we'll hit we'll copy it again. And we'll do it one more time, so then that way everything just kind of matches. And there it is. So that is kind of the logo creation. Again, real quick, ghosts, just kind of changing out a logo that was already made one way, and we just wanted to make it something else, so we just switched things up a little bit. If we again circle out of this, we want to say, again, you just hit circle, and then we want to save everything, so we say yes. And now, just for curiosity's sake, let's just move down here to uniforms. We did not do this last time, so let's go down to uniforms and see what kind of options we have for uniforms. So if you look up here at the top, you got your away and your home uniform. So that's R2, L2, back and forth between your away and home. So if we start with the away uniform here, if we do this first screen, if you will, is just your jersey options, as well as your number options if you want a number on your jersey. So you just kind of scroll through things here and pick how you want things to look on your jerseys. So if we say you got again a ton of options for different, let's just start at 1, and let's change up the color. Obviously our colors are pretty much white and gray, but I don't think you can have a white jersey for your away jersey, so we're going to have to go with gray. So we'll just say X, even though that's pretty light, but that's just what we're going to do. And we don't obviously want this color to be our secondary color. So we'll make it be white. We actually don't have a ton of options here, which is kind of annoying, but that is also somewhat associated with the jersey that you pick. So for instance, if I switch jerseys to, let's just see here. Let's pick one here that's a little bit different to this jersey. Again, it's not giving you, it doesn't give you a ton of options. So, what I've learned in this regard is that you have to make sure that the logo that you pick initially has some color options that you like, or some color options that you're going to pick, for your jerseys and how things look. So, obviously, I don't love my options here, but gray and white That's kind of what I want to do. So we're just going to go gray and white kind of across the board. This is kind of what the jersey is going to look like. If we start at 1 and we pick our gray and white jerseys, this is kind of option number 1. Let's change this one to gray 2. Problem is with this color scheme, this gray and white color scheme, you're not going to be able to see the changes very much on the jerseys. So just to be able to see the changes on the jerseys, let's make all these colors kind of crazy. The ones that I have options for, just so you can see as I scroll through here, what changes on the jerseys. So for instance, on this jersey, you can change those sleeve colors from blue to what other color options you might have, which could be, if we wanted them to be this reddish color or brownish color. That's kind of what you can do there. We're just going to keep it blue for now, just so you guys kind of get an idea. Just because this white, black, gray combination isn't the best combination, let's get out of this one here. This one's not really working out in the way that I wanted it to. So let's get out of this ghost one and go to my Wranglers one. It's a little bit more exciting, a little bit more color choices. So let's hit circle, back out here, hit L1 on this side over here just to get to this Wranglers one. We want to edit the team, and we want to look at uniforms. Although these are kind of the color options. Obviously, I don't really love this orange color just because it's not the one that I'm going to want for my team. But I do like this gray one. As an away jersey, that's just fine. Also could go black. Let's go back here. Let's change this color to, let's keep the jersey color black. Actually, I want to go gray just because in my Red Rock Wranglers NCAA football dynasty, I kind of like the gray uniforms the best. So we're going to go with the gray jerseys. Secondary color is going to be white. I want to change this outside color to be this reddish maroonish color. And then let's just make this one black just to see what things change. Text wise, and really that has to do with the text on your back of your jersey. So how do you want your text of the back of your jersey to look? And I always try to like to make it match the letters from obviously Wranglers here on this jersey. So I'm going to hit text. I want to come down here to the color that I actually picked was number 9. So we'll hit X on that to accept it. And then as you can see there, it kind of has a black outline. You can't really see it there, but it does have a black outline. We can back out for just a second. We'll say yes to save those changes. We'll go to logos here. As you can see, even on that W there, it's red with the black outline and then gray, and then the logo is surrounded by white. But even if you look at the Wranglers that's on the jersey, it's kind of red, black, gray, and then white, same combination. So let's come back out here, come back to the uniform, and I want to change this color scheme to match that. So the second one here, we want it to be black, and then the last one, technically we want to be gray. Whoops, I accidentally hit the wrong button there. So back to uniform, sorry about that. And so now when we look at it on the back, that's kind of what it looks like. A little bit more matching to, again, we're looking at the away jersey here, not the right side home jersey yet. We haven't gotten there. But that's kind of how I want it to look. So that kind of sort of matches. And actually that has a white also around it. So maybe actually we should change this one to white. Let's hit the X button. Let's hit the left over here to the side so I can get to this dark, dark, dark area. And as you can see now on my jersey, if you're kind of watching there on the right side of the screen, you can see I've got white there now. If I scroll down here to the bottom, it switches it to black, the outline. And so let's come back up here because I want it to be white. And we'll say X. And so that looks a little bit more like my Wranglers does on the front. So that's kind of how we want it to look. I like to have it match. Coming back now up to even just jersey style, let's kind of scroll through here and look at the options. Sometimes it's hard for me to look at the options, especially now because I got this weird orange color that I don't like as my undershirt. So let's change the undershirt color to be, let's just make it be white. And then scroll back up. So jersey, these are my options. So I got jersey number 1. which was this one with kind of the full sleeves. This one kind of is sleeveless, but then obviously you can have an undershirt or not. You can choose to do that. This one again has sleeves, but it has the nice kind of stuff running along the top there. The sleeves are a different color than the rest of the jersey, which is nice. Kind of a similar variation with the stripe down the side, but again sleeveless. Slight variation there on the sleeve color changes. Another kind of stripe down the side. Again, your options here are absolutely endless. Another version just kind of this time with the maroonish red color. Sleeveless again, kind of a white with a stripe down the middle. That one's kind of cool looking. Keep scrolling to the right here. This one's really interesting, just kind of fun. There's just so many options as it relates to even just picking, what color you want your jerseys to be, what color you want your stripes to be. Even just looking at, let's just say 15 here. Let's say we like the gray jerseys, but we want to change the stripe to be a different color. So, right now it's this, again, as you can see, things are lighting up on the stuff there to change the colors. And so actually you can't really tell, but that the stripes on the chest area, torso area are actually black. But then the stripes that kind of go around the neck and around the sleeves are this maroon color. You can't really tell that there, but that's probably just because it's so dark. Let's change it to this crazy color, then you have a better idea. You can really see what changes there. I don't obviously love that, but to me it should match. And so if we should have it be black on black if we're going to do that striped one. And let's go back up here and just kind of continue to look at our options. That's the same one, just sleeveless. Just kind of, I'm just scrolling to the right here. We're on jersey 19. That one's kind of cool and interesting. 22, 23. I mean, you can just make your players look however you want. So quickly, I just kind of want to scroll over to the one that I am leaning towards, which I think is this one. But what I want to do is just for fun, I want to switch it up here a little bit. So I like the gray kind of chest area. The white part, I want to make black, and then I want to make this part be white. And let's kind of switch it up and have it kind of look like that. I think that's kind of interesting and cool looking. So let's kind of keep it. That's going to be our away jersey. That's kind of the first part here, and then obviously, if I want a number, you can have the front number be on this bottom left, bottom right, or no number. I like the numbers, so we'll say bottom left. You can kind of pick your text font, what you want it to look like. We just kind of want to try to find something that's similar. Again, to me, it's got, it changes actually this font back here too, so you can look at it be a little bit bigger. I think that actually fit this one here, this number 1 fits what the Wranglers looks like on the front. So we're going to go with that. Then you got this kind of text outline option stuff again with the red, black, and this needs to be white, which it kind of already is, and so that matches. And so we've kind of got this matching combination of red with a black outline and then a white outline. So I think that option is pretty cool. Undershirt's just going to be white. I think that's just fine. And then if you hit up on the left hand, this kind of L1, R1, if we go to other, we'll hit R1 and that brings us to the pants area. So you really only have 7 options for pants. So if we kind of scroll through here, you can kind of see what changes. That just gives you a small pinstripe along the side, a little bit thicker stripe, just plain, very plain. There's kind of your pinstripes. Number 6, pinstripes with an extra different colored stripe there on the side of the pants. And then number 7 is kind of this crazy. That's really meant to go obviously with that crazy looking jersey. But I think for this scenario, we just kind of want to go with, I think, this one. I always kind of try to like to match stripes. So let's kind of pick that one. Again, we want the pants to be gray, or you could make them white if you want them to be white. But I think the colors that are chosen here are pretty good, other than the fact that I want to change the belt. I don't want it to be that color. So we'll hit 3 there to change the belt. And we'll just make it be black. And that kind of that's the pants. So that's fairly easy. Here's your hat options. So again, you can choose to make your hats whatever color you want them to be, whether or not you want them to be white, gray. Again, it's somewhat based on the color scheme that you sort of pick from your original logo area when you first started this whole process, really. And I think we're going to go with a black hat. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do a gray hat. And then you get your bill options. What color do you want your bill to be? And I think we're going to do a gray hat with a black bill. I think that looks nice. And then your batting helmet options, I'm going to keep the same. We'll do a gray with a black bill. And then you got your stirrup options here. So if you know anything about stirrups, obviously you can have these kind of higher stirrups. You can have no stirrups and just have striped socks or whatever socks that you want. Again, we're looking at the left side here, specifically at the away uniforms. But I kind of like the stirrups. I think they're kind of fun. And I kind of like these shin ones just because it seems like it makes things interesting. You can kind of choose, again, what color, how you want your stripes to look. And that, that obviously opens up more color options. So to start here, I think, your socks, again, if you kind of scroll through here, you can see what's going to change as it relates to your socks. And so you basically have 4 different areas to change your colors. So I'm going to start with, the actual sock color underneath the stirrup. And we're just going to make that white, I think. And then we're going to change the actual stirrup color. Let's go black. And then we're going to change our 2 colors up here to be, let's make them be maroon and gray. So there it is. That's kind of what it looks like. I think that looks pretty cool. And there's kind of the away uniform. So that kind of finishes that one off. And so now if you hit again up here at the top, right area, that was all of the away uniforms. So now we're going to switch it up and do all the same stuff, this time though to the home uniform. So let's go back here real quick. We picked jersey number 9. I kind of like to have things match, so we picked jersey number 9. So let's go up here, pick jersey number 9. Oops. And let's switch up the colors here. We like the white, kind of the torso area is going to be white. And then we can choose to make this second one be black if we so chose. We'll go with that. And then let's make this one this maroon color. And I think that looks pretty cool. And then let's say we want a front number again here on the bottom left. Again, if you want to compare what you did to the other side, again, just hit L2, and we kind of know. So we could pick text font number 1. We had them on the left side, text outline 5. So let's go back to the home uniform, and we're going to say text font number 1. What was the text outline? Hit L2, 5. So we're keeping that as is. Obviously, we need to change the color here. Let's change it to this number 9 with a black outline first. And then it's not really going to be white. It's going to be different here. So we'll have to do gray just to kind of switch it up a little bit. And because obviously if you do white, it's actually probably not going to look much different than it does now. But if you so chose, you could switch it up. But I think that looks pretty good. And then your undershirt, let's just keep a white undershirt again. I think that looks nice. And that's kind of the jersey again. And if we hit R1 again at the top, that's going to take us to other. We're going to pick our pants again. The pants that I picked for, this home side. Let's go back to that. That was pants number 3. So we'll make sure we pick pants number 3. I do kind of want to go back now that I'm looking at this again here. I do kind of want to change this color up here on the pants. Gray pants, that's the main pants. Then I want to change the stripe to white. And then change this one to black. Not that you can see it very well, but I kind of like that full white stripe all the way down the side. I think that looks cool. So that's kind of that part. Now, Again, we need to go back to the home uniform. So R2, coming back to the pants. Obviously, we don't want this yellow color. If we want that, again, that one maroon stripe all the way down the side, then we'll pick number 1. And then we'll change this one to black, just to kind of match the stripes that we have going on the jersey. And then we need to change the belt from this color to, let's make it maroon, just to be interesting. And that's the aspect of it. And then we can change up the hat. We can make it match. We could not make it match. Let's just not make it match. Let's make it be, let's go a white hat with a black bill. And let's do the same thing for the helmet. So we'll go down to helmet, white hat, black bill. And that's that aspect of it. And then we pick stirrups. We did pick these, again, if we don't want to match it, or you don't have to make it match. We'll pick the shin cut ones. And let's, we had multiple stripes. Again, we can just quickly go back. We had shin cut, stripes were 1. So we'll come back and change the stripes back to 1. Again, we're just matching things here. And so the first thing we're changing is the actual sock underneath the stirrup. And I think we'll just make that be white again. And then the main color of the stirrup, let's just make it be black again. Let's have the stirrups match. And then the first stripe was going to be this maroon color to make it match. And then this one is going to be gray. And there it is. There's our uniform. That is the Wranglers uniform. I like it. It's a good option. So quickly here, let's hit the circle button to come out of this, and we say yes, we want to save our changes, so we hit X. And just quickly here, let's take a quick look at the player editors, and then I'll kind of show you how to even get your players on the team. So quickly, player editors. So we got our, you automatically get assigned a team, if you will. And so this is our team, but you can adjust and change anything as it relates to how these players look. So let's just go to the top here. Let's pick Sasso. We want to edit our look. We're going to hit the square button. And this is what he currently looks like with our fancy, cool uniform, which I think has turned out pretty good. So if you want to change the name, obviously, you can kind of just scroll over these here. You hit the X button, it brings up your little typewriter, and you can change it to whatever you want. We're not going to change anything now, but that's kind of how you do it. Obviously, you can change a number. You can change male versus female. In the male section, you've got the skinny physique. You've got average physique, and you've got beefy physique. And in the female section, you really only have athletic and petite, and that's kind of it. But let's keep him a male. We'll just keep him, I think he was average. So that you can change the skin color. If I hit X here, these are kind of your options for skin color. Obviously, you can make their skin darker, lighter, kind of pinkish hue. It's kind of interesting colors. I think the one that looks most normal, if you will, is kind of this top right one. We'll just kind of keep his at that. I don't know if that's what he was at, but that's what he's going to be. So we'll hit X to keep it there. And then you can decide, which side they bat. Do they bat left? Do they bat right? The personality just kind of changes their face. Is he jolly, droopy, tough, egotistical, relaxed? All these relaxed ones, they all chew gum. Timid, is he scared? You can see his eyes get wide open there. Or competitive. We'll just leave him at competitive, I think. And then now if you hit R1, you can just go to the head type. So quickly here, there's not a ton. I would say this is one area that this game lacks. There's just not a ton of options for, changing your character's look. You've got, basically starting at 1 here, we can make, we really only have 10 options. So if you're looking at, this is how he originally looked. Back to 1, looks like this. And all these faces, it's the same 10 faces. But you can kind of, pick a character of however you want somebody to look. But that's your, basically your options. 2 here is your hair. Again, you don't have a ton of options here. You can kind of have this bald guy, kind of a nice little flat top there. Mohawk options. Again, some of these options were part of the DLC pack. I don't think that you have all of them unless you have purchased that, and so even the ones that I have might be even a little bit extra. A couple of bald options, the little fuzz there, nice big afro, some spiky hair, as my son would say. Um, this kind of whoop-de-doo, but we'll kind of keep him where he was. And then obviously you got some facial hair options, a total of 28 facial hair options. That's probably actually the most options, but you know, various options from sideburns to goatees to mustaches, handlebar mustaches to beards. The options really are quite extensive as it relates to facial hair, which I find somewhat interesting. We'll just kind of keep this guy like that. Kind of quickly scroll through here just to give you an idea what some of your options are. You know, some of this is just kind of the scruff around, a little bit more shaped beard kind of options, as you can kind of see as I'm scrolling through here. Giving yourself some extra goatee options, included with some extra little 5 o'clock shadow shaped beard stuff. I'm going to keep this guy. He's going to have these sideburns, I think, just for fun. Color options, again, aren't very extensive as it relates to hair. If you pick these kind of top ones, it makes their hair pretty darn yellow. I think it's supposed to be blonde, but we'll just kind of go back to his original color. We'll say okay. You got some eyebrow options here. It's tough to see with this guy because he's wearing some glasses, which again you kind of have quite a few options actually. But if you kind of see your eyebrow action here, adds a little bit of a layer to how they look, especially when they kind of move their eyes up and down. But again, not a ton of options. Really, only 4. So that's we'll just kind of keep his where they were. Eye color options. You got about 12 options there, but we'll just kind of keep his as is. And then obviously you have your eyewear options, some different kind of sunglasses options, as well as even just some regular looking glasses options, as well as you can kind of change the colors of these. So these are kind of the options to change the colors, even the lenses and the frames. And then whether or not you want him to have some eye black. We're going to keep him in these glasses. Then you got your body options. And really this just has to do with what kind of accessories you want to give them. So, do you want them to have their pants to be knee cut versus, kind of this boot cut action versus your tight jean wearing guys versus your shin cut where you kind of start to see the stirrups versus your high knee cut where you really see those stirrups. So we'll keep this guy as is here. He's got, there are some forearm options. If we look at the sleeve, the undershirt, sorry, I kind of messed that up there. So if you actually look at the sleeve, this is the undershirt option. So do you want like this 3/4 versus wrist all the way down to the wrist versus none versus shoulder, which doesn't really matter. You can't really see it just because he's already got some sleeves there, versus elbow. So you get a little bit of an option there versus forearm. I'm going to take it off here more because I want to show you these sleeves that you can give these guys to. Kind of some different elbow sleeves, if you will, arm sleeves. You can obviously give them, one on the right arm, one on the left arm. There are different options, different ways that they look. This one's kind of got some black and red specks, kind of a camouflagey one. Again, this is a little bit of some DLC stuff, I think, but it's still kind of interesting and fun. This funny striped looking one, you can just kind of make your people look how you want, just to make it fun for you, however you want to do that. So we're gonna give him this camo one just for fun, and then you got some wristband options, some wrist tape options. We'll just take a look at this left side since he doesn't really have anything on there. He's already kind of got something on that right side. You can put it on the left side. Tape colors. You got some different cleat options, kind of these low cleats with the little flap there. Just some generic shoes there. Really, you got 3 options, and obviously you can change up the colors of these too. The color options in here are crazy. I mean, you can just make this absolutely as crazy as you want it to be. Let's give them some really super fantastic looking shoes. Like those look sweet. So he's going to look good in his shoes. We do have some tattoo options. We're going to give him a tattoo. Also, let's give him this one, just for fun. You got a few options there. And then if we hit R1 again, you get to gear. And this is really what, how do you want their fielding glove to look? So if you come up here to the top, it's really just color options. So you can hit X. Again, you can just make this as crazy as you want. So we can make the outside be green. If you watch the inside there, that's the second one. And you can actually change the inside color. So we'll make it be that. Then you can kind of change this top one to be whatever you want it to be. Let's make it also be that. And again, we'll just make him have the craziest looking glove here as well. And then you can have an elbow guard for batting. And again, you can change the color of that. Again, the options are a little bit endless in this regard. But again, what wasn't is, your face and hair options. There wasn't a ton of those, but everywhere else it seems like you got a ton of options. Got some different batting glove options with some choices for colors here. You can see as they kind of light up, you can change the colors of those. Your ankle guard, whether or not you want them to have an ankle guard for batting. You got two options for junk on the helmet. You can either just go specky or gobby, make it really dirty. And then even your bats, you got some options. Got some star options, and again, you can pick your colors. Just for fun, let's just pick this star one. Let's scroll down here, come up, and let's just make it this crazy green color just because you really can get an idea of how it looks. And then you can change this bottom color, but it's kind of covered up by tape, which is kind of the bat grip. And we'll just make the bat grip be gray. And again, that's just crazy. And then if you hit R1 one more time, you get to pick, what's their batting routine. When they're coming out, what are they going to do? Just a quick step out, knock some dirt off their shoes. I'm going to hit it over there, kind of an action. Again, there's quite a few options for that. Upwards of 15 options. It's going to twiggle his fingers. Then you got, a bunch of different batting stances. However you kind of want these guys to look while they're batting. You just make it look crazy, make it look funny. Of course, my daughter and son think this one's hilarious, shaking their booty. Kind of a weird looking one here. Again, they're just another shaking their booty one. We'll keep Sasso like that. And then there are some walk-up songs, but obviously I'm not going to show you any of that here. And then really, if you want to skip to the next player, if you're just kind of wanting to make your way through things, you can just hit R2 up here at the top. And then obviously you're moving on to the next guy. But we'll go back to Severus Sasso here, and that's what he's looking like. He's looking pretty good. It's pretty fun. So we're going to hit circle to get out of this. We want to say yes. We want to save, so we'll hit X again. And so the other big thing that you can do here is you can scroll to the right and to the left, and you can pick, your positions. You can pick your secondary positions. You can pick, you can change all of this stuff. So if we want to, we can just go over power here, hit the X button, and we can, hit to the right here on the D-pad and make this all, make this be 99. We can make all of our players 99. Hit X again to accept it. Done. Contact is CON. Again, we can just scroll all the way to the right here and make him a 99. You can adjust any of this stuff however you want. We can make him super speedy. We'll hit X to accept that one. Speed. We'll make him a 99 speed. Hit X. We'll say he's a 99 in the field. Hit X. And his arm strength is a 99. I mean, you make him 99 across the board. And so that's kind of it for that aspect of things. If you hit R2, you can kind of see their baseball cards, which sometimes I think is fun to be able to see. We'll go back. We'll just kind of exit out of this. Again, you want to hit X to make sure you save your changes. And so that's kind of how the Wranglers are looking at this point now with the uniform set. I'm pretty excited about that. Again, if you want to change, that we were kind of looking at the player editor. If you want to change, the swagger center, your options for where you want to play. You can do that as well. We'll just say motor yard. I think that looks great. Or actually, my Red Rock Wranglers are based out of Sedona, Arizona. I don't know if any of them really fit that. We'll just say Colonial Plaza here is probably the closest. We'll say Colonial Plaza. So we'll hit circle to get out of here. The one last thing I want to show you is, how do you play with these teams? So if you hit circle and get yourself all the way back out to this section here, and if you go scroll all the way up and just say, I just want to play an exhibition game. You just want to see how this team plays. You hit the X button, and normally, whoops, at least when I first came into the game, it looked like this, where my only options were the ones, if you the ones that are kind of already in the game, that are same teams from last year, or all that kind of stuff. And so those were my only options. And so I was like, well, how in the world do I get, there's not a button, there's not anywhere on the screen you look, you can't see how do I get to my team I just created? And so actually what you need to do is you just need to make sure that your controller is here right in the middle, and you hit the X button. And then it brings up your More Teams option now over here to the right, and you actually can hit the square button, and it brings up all of your teams that you have created. And then you can scroll through and pick the one that you want to play with. And then obviously you can hit up and down to change your ego, and then you can get into the game. Just for fun here, let's get into a quick game. Let's just hit the X button. We just want to play a quick one-inning game just for fun. Hit the X button, and we'll just kind of keep everything as is. Hit X again. Lineup looks good. We'll say X. Let's get into this game. I hope you guys again are enjoying this. I hope it's helpful to some of you who are kind of struggling, trying to figure out how to make your own teams, if you want to do that. But it's a fun way to play this game. It makes things a little bit more interesting. At least to me it does. A little bit more personal. It would be nice, and at some point I would really like to get going with adding some other players to this Wranglers team. I think it's kind of fun, and I would like to make up my own players at some point. So hopefully I can do that. Let's kind of just play a quick one-inning game here. Mostly I want to see Sasso bat. So we're going to hopefully just try to get these guys out of here real quick. Get Sasso up to bat. Nice strike. Bless you. Sometimes I think it's a little bit hilarious, these guys. Go in here a second real quick. Oops, I didn't really need to do that. Just trying to, he's gonna run, and missed him just barely. Of course, I've probably picked like the hardest team to play against here, and they're gonna be forever for. I just want to see Nasasso, since I changed his. Tried to jump up there and grab that one, but unable to do it. If you hit the options button here, these are kind of shows you some quick fielding controls there on the left. If you're not sure what you're doing, your options, obviously you can just end the game. These are kind of all of the settings for everything. If you go to options, we just want to resume. Everybody came in there, so go to first. That's going to be out number one. Runner did move to third. Throw it down low here, see if I can get him chasing. Two balls. Ooh, I didn't mean to. I wasn't quite paying attention there. Whoopsie daisy. Let's just throw it down the middle here and get this strike. There we go. Out number two. We'll end this video. All I want to do is get Sasso up, because he's got 99 everything, because I made him that way. So I just want to see, he's going to be the first batter up here in the next inning as soon as I get this last out. I just kind of wanted to see. And there it is. There's our last out. So Sasso, our 99 overall player, he's 99s across the board, just because I thought that would be fun. The crazy bat, crazy shoes, looking good. Got the tattoo. Whoa, they're already going to replace their pitcher. That's interesting. They're just replacing everybody. Let's just see if we can blast one out of here. Nope, not quite. He's just going to keep running the bases. We're going to see how fast he really is. No, we'll stop him. So just a double on that play. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me to make it. Again, if you like, please subscribe. We're going to hit this one here, and it's going to go way out to the right field, but it's going to be caught. Well, that's going to do it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Please follow, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell, do all the things you need to do. I appreciate it. We will see you next time. Hopefully we can get a nice Wranglers series going here.